What do you think?
No way! No, I'm shitting my pants here. Are you serious? Are you serious right now?
Dude, have you ever had, like, a real-life woman in here?
I mean, is this thing bitching or what?
Dude, when you said you were doing a Jabba's Palace diorama, I expected like half a courtroom or some shit, but this is next level. I don't know what to say here.
I think it's really gonna tie the room together.
Like, I'm almost concerned.
Oh, me too, but let me tell you, it's little things in life, man. And speaking of, boom! Working trapdoor! You're welcome!
You truly are a renaissance man, I mean that. Or on the spectrum, but yeah, wow.
Fuck's sakes, would you wake me up when you're done playing with your Ewok dollhouse?
The hell did you just say?
Star Trek, baby! Vastly superior.
Is he pulling my zucchini right now? F Star Trek, bunch of talking heads. Get your ass over here. Check this out. I don't remember Star Trek having a droid torture chamber.
Oh, touche.
That's not dolls, it's action figures, you stupid asshole. And look at this, 88 can even lower the hot irons down on the power droid speed.
That's badass, dude.
Yeah, Fossek, go build a diorama of like Spock explaining Ponfar in Captain Kirk's living room.
Look, the science is better fleshed out, the dialogue is vastly superior, it's progressive, it's diverse, it tackled racism, nationalism, sexism, war, the establishment, with a hell of a lot more meat than this Hansel and Gretel white dude saving princess in your galaxy far, far away shit.
Star Wars never claimed to be sci-fi, it's a space opera. And it's deep and shit about friends and the Force.
I believe.
Stop smelling the smells off my sticker book. Can you believe this guy?
Norm Gunga Singh, what you've done here is an incredible achievement.
Look, no one's saying that you can't still play with your laser swords and whommers, man. Calm down.
Oh, fuck you, you condescending, self-righteous. Hey, I thought we were supposed to be doing a Punk vs. Metal show. Oh, we've technically already begun. Oh, God. Assassin! Interstellar experience. And let me tell you, folks, we're living it. Locked in a bitter galactic battle at the station here today. I'm arguing that Star Wars is more heavy metal and Star Trek punk. Feathers are going to get ruffled, feelings are going to get hurt, but drop us a line, give us your hot take. 10 minutes to 11. I'm in the mood for an ad. Here, have some. For the best of fuck right off. Where did all these apples come from?
Oh, Marianne from the arts department, her grandmother ascended, and we chipped in and got her a fruit basket. You owe us $10, by the way.
Fucking Ascensions, hockey pools, man. Their kids is gymnastics raffles. Every corner I go, man, someone wants $10. Hey, you want an apple?
No, I have these oranges.
Are you sure? Because these apples are good.
I'd be hard-pressed to find anything better than these oranges. Anyways, getting back to the Star Trek thing, I see a fundamental flaw in your whole argument right off the bat, but...
Now, is that right? Right?
Oh, fuck, there's a chart. This is happening.
So here it is. This is why I think Star Trek is punk, Star Wars heavy metal. Are you ready for this shit?
Oh my god, there's shiny pipe cleaner and he bedazzled the board.
Goddamn right, man. If we want to be taken serious like Banger TV, we gotta have a board. Shit.
Well, when you put it like that.
Hey, come here. I'm really not feeling this either, but let's be cool and pretend to listen and shit. So here's some compilation videos of two awesome things. Monster Trucks and Eileen Davidson from Young and the Restless. I'll have it playing on the screen, and if shit gets too fucking stupid, you can just check this out, and then everybody wins. Okay, be cool.
Are you sitting comfortably? Alright, fantasy, reality. Clearly Star Wars is a fictional universe. It's got origins from myths and folklore. We all know this. All the tropes are checked here. Ancient evils, dark overlords, orphan chosen ones, swashbuckling, chivalry, knights, princesses. That's 90% of every metal song up until, Thrash shows up after its first year of college and thinks it fucking knows everything. I mean, do I really need to say it here? Star Trek is reality. It's our world, our galaxy. Yeah, it's hammy fictional science, but the science fiction here, it's tech based on scientific fact. You got stories and reflections of modern day struggles, racial inequity, capitalism versus socialism. It sounds like every goddamn punk I know, man. I love them, man, but they can't relax. Oh, it's about authenticity, the message, the ideology. I hope you're enjoying that bag of Doritos. Does the flavor of unsustainable use of palm oil and deforestation of the rainforest worth it? But I only asked if you watched Mr. Belvedere last night. I'm 11 and a half, man. I'm still coping with Macho Man slamming the ring bell on the larynx of Ricky Steamboat. And you want to talk Adolfo Colero and the Sandinistas? Fucking wealth gaps? I just want to listen to Helix and stare at Emma Marignac, man. But yeah, broader themes of utopia living, justice, and identity.
What font is that? It's driving me nuts.
Oh, Arial Black, bold. I know it's basic, but it's probably the most neutral font.
No, I appreciate that.
Oh my god, this is too easy. Star Wars, metal. God save the Queen. Right? Speaking of princesses and queens, bit of a positive spin on the monarchy in the Old Republic. One might even say devotion. Bit of the old D&D vibe happening here. The castle shall not fall. Metal loves that shit. Star Trek punk, God save the Queen? Tear that shit down. I may be overreaching here, but I think they were being a little sarcastic. Like, they ain't blowing up the Death Star for Liz, put it that way. Well, they'll blow it up, or not for reasons that Her Majesty would approve of. Oh my god, I ended a sentence with a preposition. Ah, how punk of me.
Show some records, for fuck's sakes.
Oh my god, sorry. Don't get me wrong, I love punk too, but my allegiance was always with metal. But that's not to say the punks and I had any beef at all. They even embraced this white trash class clown, believe it or not. Right? But a lot of these OG records I'm about to show you, some punks just gave them to me for free. You know, they didn't want any materialistic possessions anymore. Or they sold them for dirt cheap because they wanted to buy booze and drugs, right? Bless their hearts. But you're right, Castillo, I'm going to show them now. Sorry. I just get so worked up. Beer, more beer. Sure, I love Fear the Record too, but this one always made me smile a little bit more. Early California hardcore band that caught my eye after I was shown the infamous 81 episode of SNL. Remember that one hosted by Donald Pleasance? That alone. These guys were friends with Belushi, and when they got cut from one of his films, as a favor, he got them on SNL, but their in-audience fans racked up $200,000 worth of damages, so their ass got banned for life. Yeah, I know you punks know this, but this is for the children. Settle down, alright? Have a Sanka. Music-wise, controversial little group. They come across sometimes as really sexist, homophobic, but really it's more pitch black wit and shock value. But yeah, these guys pretty much established the stereotype of American punk rock. Agent Orange, Living in Darkness. How many punk bands were named Agent Orange? God damn. Another early California punk band with some surf rock seasoning thrown in. These guys are completely underrated, in my opinion, and quite frankly, I wouldn't even know they existed if not for a friend. He knew I loved SNFU, he wanted to buy a gram of dope, so he sold this to me by pitching it as Joy Division meets Buzzcocks. Yeah, I can hear that, but what I really picked up on was the influences that it had on suicidal tendencies, no doubt. Alright then, let's get back to the Star Wars board. Style. Musically, metal's got roots in blues and psych rock. It's undoubtedly also an extension of classical music. Look no further than Wagner. Symphonic sounds of heavy metal with those operatic vocals? Star Wars. And Star Wars is not a science fiction either. It's a space opera, and it's got equally diverse, rich roots. You know, westerns, matinee serials, Jedi Geki, fairy tales, total hero worship. You know, the Eddies, the Blackmores, Angus, Harris, Halford, Iommi, the gods of rock and roll. Like, punks were influenced by the blues as well, but his real daddy is 60s surf and garage rock, right? It's stripped to the bone. Now, whether Star Trek is straight up sci-fi or science fantasy is debatable, but Star Trek was revolutionary when it exploded on the scene in the 60s. It shed all that campy bullshit, you know, from those past science fiction productions, to a certain degree, and all that clunky, ham-fisted, hard sci-fi gibberish.
Even now, your scientists are working on a way to harness the sun's rays.
And honestly, if you think about it, it only really used its roots to sci-fi as like a backdrop for like thinly veiled youthful social commentary. You know, that turbulence that was going on in the 60s? But like, seriously, don't ever call punks hippies, okay? Seriously. Principle-wise, Star Trek, like punk, was breaking away from society's old-world values that was force-fed to them. When Star Trek shows religion, politics, militarism, collectivism, capitalism, any ism whatsoever, it ain't flattering. Star Wars, on the other hand, is very much about rebellion as well against tyranny, but it still values the Old Republic, spiritualism, religion. You know, there's a dark side of the Force, a light side of the Force. It's definitive goods versus evils. And seriously, the Jedi were basically a police force for the Galactic Republic. And we all know how much punks hate cops. Bunch of Trekkies, no doubt.
Trekker.
Oh, such a punk thing to say. Hey, speaking of Angry Samoans, Inside My Brain. Now, this band was made up of two brothers and 70s music critics for Cream and Rolling Stone. Hey, That's interesting. But these guys knew how to piss the wrong people off, and they certainly got their ass blacklisted. Get off the ear? Come on, guys. Rodney had some LA clout. But here's some trivia for you young bangers out there. Michael Earl Saunders, Metal Mike, he's credited for coining the music genre label heavy metal. And he used it in a review for Humble Pie As Safe As Yesterday in like 1970 in Rolling Stone. I don't know, any Steppenwolf fans want to chime in here? Either way, it's a cool album. It's super pissed off. The Germs. Well, man, it didn't get much simpler than this, and yet so goddamn complicated and layered on this edgy, drunken, drugged out, almost performance art punk record. It's one of the earliest and highly influential California punk band that goes back to 76, 77. Like its Doom frontman, Darby Crash, the Germs lived fast, they died fast, but not without leaving a seismic impact on American punk. The Melvins. Now, here's a band that could divide a room, let me tell you. Now, besides Misfits, obviously, the Melvins were like the second punk band I ever listened to. Gluey Porch Treatments on Alchemy here was like my first record that was left to me because of circumstances that are way too depressing to bring up on a lighthearted show about a radio station in hell. Anyways, I fucking hated it, right? On a molecular level. But I was into Exciter and Razor at that point. Speed metal was the name of the game, and I was not ready for murderous sludge. I also think that I intrinsically resented them too for laying out the blueprint for grunge. I don't know. But hey, I didn't always like onions and Brussels sprouts, but I can't get enough of them bastards now. You dig?
Okay, back to the chop.
Like, the original Star Wars trilogy focuses on the individual hero's journey. And much like heavy metal, it's like a repressed white male-centric world of nerds in search of that kind of masculinity that we all secretly crave. Big dick laser swords given to us by old wizards who are going to train us to leave our shithole hometowns, kick ass, and finally stand up to your asshole old man and be super rad doing it. Also, a love triangle with a white hot chick that turns out to be a relative is also playfully white trash and metal. Punks, the kids united, right? Much like Star Trek, seem to be an altruistic crew on a mission to forget the past and boldly go where no man's gone before, right? Establish peaceful relations with species they encounter, but goddamn, there seems to be a lot of fists flying, karate chops, arena battles to bring this peace. I mean a lot. Like, you claim to be progressive all you want, but punks, just like headbangers, were nerdy teenage explorers as well. Not above alpha male chauvinism and dick measuring too. And a lot of either green-skinned or green-haired chicks in this entire racket were unflatteringly bagged in the process. I will say Star Trek did offer a big fuck you to the system with the very first interracial kiss between Captain Kirk and Uhura. Of course, it's going to be Kirk, right? But that's pretty groundbreaking. I don't know if putting Carrie Fisher in a metallic bikini and chaining her to a giant slug is as progressive, but hot damn, 100 Frazetta points for the win.
Records.
All right. Let's look at some records. 45 Graves, Sleep in Safety. Party Time in Reality was probably the first punk song that I ever heard, and I remember it distinctly because I was in a shop in Alma, Quebec buying jeans, and a radio spot for Return of the Living Dead came on, and the song was blasting through the whole thing, and then I remember hearing Tarman drop that line, "More brains," and it scared the living shit out of me. 45 Grave is kind of like a nasty, edgy, gothish ghoul rock band, more than the straight up punk sound, but I think they had more of an influence on metal shock rock. That's just my opinion. It kind of cracks me up that Party Time to this day is licensed for a lot of marketing when the original lyrics to the song are so deeply disturbing. Like, give me the soundtrack version any day. I don't know, maybe I'm an old softy, but check it out. Not for the faint of heart. Discharge, hear nothing, see nothing, say nothing, gay full on Clay Records. I never knew what people were talking about when the word debut was dropped. I just didn't bother to ask, or I didn't want to look stupid. But I guess I always knew what it was, because it was just hardcore punk. Now, Discharge is widely considered to be the defining statement of British hardcore and punk in general, and the influence that they had on metal can't be overstated. Just listen to Metallica, Exodus, Anthrax, Napalm Death, shit, anything extreme, fast, and aggressive. Now, I don't want to rock the boat here, but the guitars on this one, sound a wee bit venomish. Anyway. But truly, this is a pissed off album, and ironically, the metal influence on them didn't do them any favors, because Grave New World is whispered in the same hushed tones as Cold Lake. Finally, merchandising.
All too easy.
Star Wars and metal back between the 70s and 90s were merch whores, and Kissin' Maiden, as insane as all that was, didn't hold a candle to Lucasfilm marketing. There's no debate. Now, Star Trek, like punk, in its later days, yeah, it had its share too, but the punk's DIY approach to like buttons, shirts, posters, I think that had marketers a little bit gun-shy. Also, I can't remember as a kid being excited about Star Trek figures. You know, that one communication device and that one swivel arm that could point at something like he was doing a physics lecture? That should say it all right there. But also, Star Wars is a capitalist world, and aside from merchandising, it's all about money. If not for Han Solo desperately trying to pay off his student loans to Jabba the Hutt, Ben and Luke would have been slain, and that would have been it. It's all about fortune and glory, kids. Give it up. Star Trek, money doesn't exist, and if there's a need for something, they simply just use replicators. Now, to satirize shady North American business practices, yes, the Ferengi do that quite nicely, and the Borg seems to be a bit of a jab at the progressive left mindset, but I don't know. Trekonomics by Manu Sadea? Yeah, I think that's how you pronounce his name. He gets into this shit, and I find it pretty interesting.
Big fucking surprise there, Urkel.
Black flag damaged. Of course, on our first punk episode, we're gonna have this gem. You just got to, and if anything, it's a tribute and beers raised to Henry Rollins, who'd piss off his bandmates by playing Judas Priest and Sabbath in their presence. Is there anything really that needs to be said here? I don't think so, except, listen, come here. If you're a kid that stumbled upon my show and you made it this far, wow, it's nice. Good for you. But listen to me. If the old BBQutioner here plays some old moldy classic metal that, just isn't your scene, I get it. You're looking for something else, and I appreciate that. But do yourself a favor. Try old school punk. Fuck right off with that Sum 71 or Green Day or whatever. Pick this shit up and give it a spin. I implore you. You'll be a better person for it. Now, I'm always going to be here to play some Super NES and crank some Helix with you if you need me. But dude, okay?
Oh shit, we really jumped the shark this week, man.
I have no doubt.
Tune in next week, gang, when we find out which is more Manchu Dynasty, Sanford and Son, or Diabetes PSAs.
It's so weird talking about this shit today, like the war between punk and metal. It seems so foreign because kids today are down with both of them and love them equally. I don't know how I feel about that. I kind of like the tension between us all.
It's so true, because I gotta confess here. I had a Motley Crue and Van Halen under the desk here as a security blanket, right? It's punk kryptonite. But if you're curious about this, kids, look no further than this show right here, okay? YouTube even has footage. It was a fucking war zone. But it paved the way. Either way, my buddy Steve Gardner, a true blue St. John's punk, and I were joined at the hip growing up. Every day, every night, RPGs, horror. He shoved all this shit down my throat, and I returned the favor, too, with my trash. But I even think that he grew to love Red Hot by the Crew. And you know what? I think we were both better for it. So, listen, may the Force be with you.
And live long and prosper.
But the Force, may it be more with you.
Absolutely, but live longer. And prosper more, too.
Oh, God.
May the Force be with you.
Just where in the future the things